Villain number 1, Lotso, Toy Story 3. Lotso is the stuffed bear that'll make you second guess every cuddly toy you've ever owned. This pink plush nightmare doesn't just smell like strawberries, he smells like revenge. He's built like a bear that skipped hibernation and went straight into villainy. Imagine if a teddy bear had a vendetta against childhood innocence. That's Lotso. His fur might look soft, but under all that pink fluff, there's nothing but pure malice. And trust me, he'll make you wish you were back in the toy box. Don't let that cute, fluffy exterior fool you. Lotso isn't just a bear, he's a sadistic dictator in a stuffed animal's body. After being left behind by his owner, he transformed his pain into a toxic obsession with control. He runs the daycare like it's a twisted prison, punishing toys that don't follow his rules with the kind of cruelty that's disturbingly calm. Lotso is the type of villain who can smile in your face while pulling the strings that make you feel worthless. He's not just manipulating the toys, he's breaking their spirits. He's the kind of leader who'll promise safety, but the moment you trust him, you're discarded like trash. Think running or hiding will save you. Think again. Lotso's got spies everywhere, and every time you think you've escaped, he's already one step ahead, tightening the noose. He doesn't just play mind games, he breaks your heart. When he traps you in the wrong daycare group, you'll learn real quick that surviving his cruelty is harder than fitting in a toy chest after hours. The only thing worse than facing Lotso's wrath, watching him twist his fuzzy smile and call it tough love. Survival chance, 0%. Lotso doesn't just break toys, he breaks you. Once you're in his sights, you're just another pawn in his cruel game. You'll wish for the sweet comfort of a garbage truck before you ever get close to beating this guy. Villain number 2. Sid Phillips, Toy Story. Sid may look like an ordinary kid, but the moment he lays eyes on you, you're nothing more than a plaything for his sick imagination. He's got that classic troubled kid vibe, but unlike the others, Sid isn't interested in fixing things. He's here to destroy. With his grungy t-shirt, buzz cut, and a look that screams, "I know how to make toys scream," Sid is less playful child and more mad scientist who enjoys watching things suffer. Imagine if a kid could combine a twisted sense of curiosity with an unhealthy obsession with chaos. Yep, that's Sid. Sid doesn't just play with toys, he mutilates them. He's the kind of kid who takes creativity to a whole new level by disassembling, reassembling, and downright ruining toys for his own amusement. And if you're one of those toys, say goodbye to your original lovable form. Sid's favorite pastime is creating nightmarish abominations. Frankenstein's monster has nothing on the creatures he's invented. No one is safe when Sid's in the building. He treats every toy like an experiment, subjecting them to horrific upgrades that'll make you wonder if you're still the same toy you once were. One second you're a cute action figure, the next you've got mismatched body parts and a terrifying new purpose. Sid's cruelty isn't just physical, it's psychological torture on a level that could break even the most resilient toy. He doesn't just want to destroy, he wants to reshape the very essence of what it means to be a toy. When Sid grabs you, he's not just disassembling your body, he's stripping away your identity. You're no longer Woody or Buzz. You're a broken shell of your former self, a grotesque version of what you once were. Every time he grabs a wrench or a pair of scissors, it's not just about modification, it's about erasing what makes you. Sid doesn't stop at changing your look. He turns your very nature into a mockery. Sid doesn't need a weapon. His mind is the weapon. The worst part? He knows what scares you. Every creepy modification he makes is like a punch to your very essence as a toy. It's not just physical harm. Sid breaks your will, reshaping your identity in ways that'll leave you questioning if you're still the same toy you once were. His toys don't just go through pain, they go through an existential crisis. And when he's done, he leaves you with one last reminder that you are never more than a tool for his amusement. You can try to escape, but Sid's already cracked the code. Hiding under the bed won't keep you safe for long. He'll track you down, not just to destroy you, but to break the idea that you have any real worth outside of his twisted game. Survival chance, 1%. Unless you can somehow convince him that you're a toy he doesn't want to torment, you're destined for a terrifying upgrade. You can try to run, but there's no hiding from Sid. Better start running before you end up as part of Sid's twisted collection of abominations. Maybe you'll get lucky and end up as an upgraded version of your former self, but don't count on it. Sid's already thinking up new ways to make you scream. Villain number 3, Charles Muntz, Up. Charles Muntz is the kind of villain who doesn't just have a grudge. He's got a vendetta so deep it's almost comical. This guy's been chasing a giant mythical bird for decades, and it's clear that it's not just the bird he's obsessed with. He's hunting anything in his path, including you. With his meticulously styled mustache, khaki explorer outfit, and that creepy airship, Muntz looks like your average adventurer, except for the fact that he'll do whatever it takes to prove he's the hero, and you're just collateral damage. Think you can escape from Muntz? Think again. This guy is the definition of relentless. He's not just after a bird. He's out to prove the world wrong. He'll chase his prey across mountains, through the skies, and across time. The moment he's locked onto you, your life isn't your own. It's a game for him. Muntz has spent decades crafting his perfect hunt, and the second you become a part of it, you're just another pawn in his obsession. And don't even think about reasoning with him. His obsession with capturing the bird, and anyone who tries to stop him, has warped his entire sense of morality. Charles Muntz isn't just a physical threat, he's a psychological one. The man has an entire airship full of trained dogs, and they'll track you down no matter where you go. Every step you take, Muntz is planning the next part of his pursuit, turning the whole world into his hunting ground. But the most dangerous part? He's convinced himself that he's the hero. In his eyes, it's you who's the villain for trying to stop him from capturing the bird. You can try to outsmart him, but he's spent years building his empire of proof, and your survival isn't in his plan. So when he corners you, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't need to. He's already convinced himself that this hunt is justified. Survival chance, 0.5%. You might try to hide in the jungle or outwit his dogs, but Muntz won't stop. The only way you're escaping this is if you can somehow destroy his obsession, and that's a tough one when he has an airship full of attack dogs and a crazy sense of justice. Hope you're not too fond of that bird, because it's not just Muntz who'll make sure you don't survive, it's his obsession. Villain number 4. Syndrome, the Incredibles. Syndrome looks like a reject from a superhero costume shop. Think about a tech nerd in a red jumpsuit and a mullet that says, "I'm the villain, but make it fashion." But don't let the "I can't believe it's not Loki" look fool you. This guy may not have superpowers, but he's got a super ego, and that's even scarier. Syndrome is that one friend who always says, "I could do it better," and then proceeds to build an entire secret lair with 4,000 robots and a laser gun that would make James Bond sweat. So while you're stuck trying to untangle your Christmas lights, he's out there planning the most elaborate revenge plot of all time. Here's the deal. Syndrome doesn't want to destroy you because you're a threat. Oh no, he wants to outdo you. He's like the guy who watches someone cook a 5-star meal and says, "I can make it 10 times better." But instead of a kitchen, he has a floating fortress. And instead of a spatula, he's armed with an army of robots. He doesn't just want to defeat the Incredibles, he wants to make sure everyone's super, so no one's special anymore. If he could, he'd invent a way for everyone to be the star of their own superhero movie. But with him playing the director, of course. When he finally reveals his plan, it's so ridiculously overcomplicated, you'll wonder if he missed a few steps in the Villainy 101 handbook. Now, let's talk about the mind games. Syndrome is that villain who will let you think you've got him beat. You think you're safe. He'll be sipping his latte in his lair, waiting for you to make that one wrong move. And you will make that wrong move. He's the type to tell you his plan before you're even allowed to fail. Because what's the point of winning if you can't rub it in, right? His entire existence is one giant "I told you so." He'll let you fight back just so he can laugh in your face when it all falls apart, leaving you thinking, why did I even try? Meanwhile, he's off to make a billion-dollar empire off of tech and gadgets, all while you're stuck looking for the nearest escape pod. Survival chance, 2%. Sure, you might think you can defeat him, but when your entire existence is just one giant math equation that you'll never solve, you're pretty much toast. Unless you're somehow immune to sarcasm, tech-savvy enough to hack into his lair, and can deal with the "I told you so's," it's game over. You've got no shot unless you can convince him that his greatest enemy is himself, because that's probably the only thing he can't fix with his robots and his over-the-top schemes. Villain number 5, Chuckles the Clown, Toy Story 3. Chuckles, the clown doesn't look like a typical villain. You might even mistake him for a sweet, colorful toy at first glance. But this guy has more emotional baggage than a luggage store. With his wide, painted-on smile, red nose, and floppy hair, he's got that "I'm here to make kids laugh" vibe, until you realize his past is darker than a basement on Halloween. Chuckles isn't just a toy, he's a haunted soul, scarred by the tragic fate of his original owner, and now he's stuck in the endless cycle of despair, lashing out at anyone who dares try to escape. It's the kind of villain who's got you laughing nervously, until he goes full creepy on you. Chuckles doesn't need a sinister laugh or evil plots. All he needs is his broken heart to turn him into a bitter, angry force of nature. After being abandoned by his owner, Chuckles lived in isolation for years, and you know what happens when toys get abandoned. They snap. Chuckles is the perfect example of a toy who used to bring joy, but now only brings pain. The worst part, he doesn't even mean to be evil. His frustration, loneliness, and broken past have twisted him into a bitter shell of the toy he once was. He's like that friend who laughs off their hurt feelings until they suddenly lash out with no warning. He's got no grand schemes of world domination, just a deep-seated resentment for anyone trying to escape their fate, which makes him even more unpredictable and dangerous. Chuckles isn't chasing you down with threats of physical harm. No, his weapon of choice is despair. He plays on your fears of abandonment and rejection, whispering the darkest thoughts that come with being a forgotten toy. It's like he's not just trying to trap you physically, he's trying to trap you in your own mind. He's been through hell, and now he wants to make sure everyone else feels that same emotional burn. Chuckles will tell you the horrors of the toy train to nowhere, convincing you that there's no escaping your fate, that you're doomed to a life of isolation, stuck in the toy box forever. The worst part? He's probably right. The kind of despair he brings isn't something you can fight. It's a slow, creeping feeling that pulls you down into a pit of loneliness that you can't escape. Survival chance, 5%. You can probably run away from Chuckles, but can you outrun that heavy feeling of being left behind? Can you handle the emotional toll he takes as he subtly breaks you down piece by piece? Sure, you could try to fight back, but when your mind is already battling against itself, how can you win? You may escape physically, but Chuckles leaves a piece of you behind, and that's the part that never gets over it. Surviving these Pixar villains? Yeah, not gonna happen. But now I've gotta ask, who did we miss?